Ladies and gentlemen, I've witnessed death. I've witnessed stabbings. I've witnessed nuclear detonation. I've witnessed men that try and cut their penises off. But what I just saw in the South Florida game was the most despicable thing I've seen in my life. Guys, we're going to get into it. We've got major stuff. This is officially breaking. It is my instant reaction for week 3. It's every ranked game. I quickly want to talk about that Appalachian State game. So guys, the whole thing with game day going to App State, apparently, if you Google Appalachian State's campus in the fall, you know, with all the fall foliage, it's beautiful. But game day, the geniuses that they are, they decide to go when all the foliage is green. I don't understand that. But, you know, the Hail Mary, that might be the new meta when it comes to Hail Marys. Just throw an arm punt, throw a really high looping pass, have one of your players tip it back, have another player behind him catch it, and then score. That was amazing. All right, but guys, we've got the major games. Let's get right to them. Georgia, 48-7 over South Carolina. I love Georgia football, guys. We all know this. I mean, Kirby Smart is kind of my hero. But no, seriously, I was just thinking this. Brock Bowers has to be the most impactful tight end I've ever seen at the college level. He might also be the most talented tight end I've seen. But in terms of impact, what other tight end have we seen have the impact that Brock Bowers have? I can't name one. At least in my time, I can't name one. So Georgia with the win there. Next, we've got Michigan 59-0 over UConn. Guys, I'm just getting sick and tired of hearing about Michigan football. They gotta, like, it's one thing to have a bad non-conference schedule, but when you're literally facing the 130th ranked team according to FBI, the 127th ranked team according to FBI, the 120th ranked team according to FBI, by the way, that's out of 131 teams. I mean, come on. Apparently, Cade McNamara is out for a few weeks also with a strained vagina. That coming from the Michigan reporters. Next game we've got, how about this one? Oklahoma destroys Nebraska. And guys, I had the under, and I think the under actually hit. If you have the under and you were watching the first quarter of this game, I pray for you, because I was one of those people, and I've never seen a college football be played like this in my life. Both teams were hiking the ball with, I kid you not, 35 seconds left. Both teams, every play, 35 seconds left. I think Oklahoma ran 83 plays total. Nebraska ran like 78. But Nebraska was so bad that the under still somehow hit, because Oklahoma just runs the ball out the entire fourth quarter. And guys, Mickey Joseph, RIP that era, that lasted a full one game. I think the reason why a lot of us don't know how to judge Nebraska is because it truly is a unique situation. I was just thinking about this. Nebraska literally hasn't lost an ounce of fan support, yet their team keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse. So the fan support is still there, but the team, it's like, this is the fan support. The team is, the team is going down, and the fan support is staying up. Nowhere else will that happen. The team keeps getting worse and worse and worse, but it's like you go into that environment, it's still amazing. So it's weird. We think they're always going to be close games, and normally they actually are. But this one, Oklahoma, I give Oklahoma credit, but I was hearing that the people on Big Noon, they were like, oh, Oklahoma, they're going to make the playoffs because they beat Nebraska, folks. Come on. I'm sick of hearing about Big Noon. Thank God Ohio State has not appeared on Big Noon. How about Kentucky? A disappointing performance, Kentucky, against the FCS team, Youngstown State. A few interceptions, a few turnovers. They win 31-0, but a little bit down on Kentucky. That's certainly, they're ranked 9th. Come on, they're not the 9th best team. Baylor beats Texas State after a slow start. It was an 11 a.m. kickoff. Texas State, of course, is an FCS team, but Baylor covers the 30-point spread. I love Baylor football. Baylor is just a solid football program. You know they're always going to play to their potential. Great win for Baylor. Obviously, they're going to win. It's an FCS team, but they cover the spread. And guys, I say that I didn't even bet on Baylor or anything like that. I'm just saying Baylor's like the Mona Lisa. Like, this football program, oh my God, it is amazing. Next, we've got Oregon. And guys, Oregon has officially turned into Georgia's sex slave, and it's disgusting. The FBI needs to stop investigating Donald Trump and start investigating the major collusion between Dan Lanning and Kirby Smart that happened week 1 when they were coaching together. Lanning goes off and gets a head coaching gig basically because Kirby Smart, and then they face each other in some sham neutral site game in Atlanta, Georgia. And Lanning is quoted after the game saying, "We will be talking." You know, there was total collusion that game. It was such a sham. The FBI needs to investigate Georgia football. This is ridiculous. And now Georgia gets even more credit because now it looks like, oh, Oregon is this good team because they beat BYU and they crushed BYU. But Dan Lanning is a freaking sex slave, and it's disgusting. And Oregon is just... this is ridiculous. I feel so bad for BYU. BYU is the victim. BYU is the victim, folks. Next, we've got Ole Miss destroying Georgia Tech. This Georgia Tech football program is a mess. 42-0. Jackson Dart, he only had like maybe 16 pass attempts, but he had like 230 yards. I said the under was a lock for this game. And it hits mainly because Georgia Tech sucks. I mean, they can't score, so Ole Miss gets up by a ton, and then they stop trying because they don't want injuries. But they end up winning 42-0. Really weird, guys. Earlier in the week, I had a vision that this was a rainy game, and I turned it on, and it's sunny, and I was disappointed in myself. I was like, I should be better with my visions. Next, we've got Penn. Oh, this is amazing. Huge for the Big Ten. Major stuff. This was in my safe parlay, the world famous. I got messages from people saying, thank you, I just won $3 more million from the safe parlay. I said Penn State on the money line. Penn State says we'll do you one better. We will destroy Auburn. This is a huge game for the Big Ten. I'm still really not buying Penn State. I think they lose to Michigan. I think they lose to Ohio State because Sean Clifford gives them an extremely low ceiling, in my opinion. Nothing against Sean Clifford. He's a veteran. We respect him. Big win for the Big Ten. They needed this. Auburn is seen as a middle-of-the-road SEC team. Penn State's seen as kind of an upper-tier Big Ten team. So Penn State sweeps the series with Auburn. And what an epic blowout this is, 41-12. To me, honestly, guys, this is more Auburn's just really bad than Penn State putting on a show. That's my opinion. I just think Auburn's really bad. But Penn State, I've said, the one thing I always say about Auburn, dumpster fire. I always say it. Penn State wins 41-12. Huge for the Big Ten. Alabama beats UL Monroe 63-7, so they do cover that 49.5-point line. But Alabama still has the receiver problem. We're obviously not going to learn much about Bama in a game like this. The only thing that's questionable, do they cover the spread? And they end up doing that. Wake Forest 37-36 over Liberty. And guys, just some context on this game. This game would have went to overtime if it wasn't for Liberty going for 2 at the end of regulation. They were down by 7. They make it 37-36. Then they went for 2. So this game could have went to overtime. If I'm Wake Forest, and I'm number one, Wake Forest should not be ranked. They are completely one-dimensional. Sam Hartman led them in rushing with 11 rush yards. Number 2, if I'm Wake Forest and I'm those players, I am pissed at my administrators for scheduling Liberty. Liberty's been known to be this kind of underdog team. You shouldn't be scheduling them. Give us an FCS team. Come on. Do the Michigan model there. That's ridiculous. But they do end up winning by 1 point. I think they were 16-point favorites. Next, we have Oklahoma State over Arkansas Pine Bluff 63-7. If you want nightmares, Google Arkansas Pine Bluff team logo. If you want nightmares, I had to do it because I had to, make my Google slides and put their logo in. I go on their logo, it looks like the thing's about to rape me. The thing is weird, man. Arkansas Pine Bluff, this is probably the last time I'll be talking about them this season, unless they face another ranked team. Their logo is a nasty thing. Next, we have Arkansas should drop out of the top 25. So Arkansas faces an FCS team and they were down by 10 in the fourth quarter. They come back and win, 38-27. They were 26-point favorites in this game. They're going to drop significantly. That's a horrible, horrible showing. Tennessee over Akron. Akron is one of the worst teams in FBS. Tennessee ends up covering that 48-point spread. So if you had all the big teams covering, you made a lot of money today. They end up winning 63-3. We've got Ohio State, a 70 burger. Finally, the Buckeyes, it's not a 50 burger, it's not a 60 burger. They get a 70 burger. They get over 700 yards of total offense. Trevion Henderson banged up. It was precautionary. You're facing a bad team. Guys, let me say one thing, though, about Toledo. Toledo actually is a decent team. They're very similar to UTSA. I'm not kidding. Look up their FPI. They're going to be the best team in the MAC. And people are just going to say, oh, Ohio State faces a horrible team. No, Toledo, guys, Toledo against UConn on a neutral field would be 56-7 Toledo. Toledo is not, trust me, you'll see how Toledo's going to be favored next week at San Diego State. And I'm not saying San Diego State's this great team. I'm just saying Toledo isn't horrible. Ohio State's just a complete powerhouse. The defense, there's some lapses. I'm concerned about the cornerbacks. But still, the offense is unbelievable. JSN plays a little bit. He'll be back next week, Saturday night, ABC. It's always ABC for Ohio State Saturday night. You love to see it against Wisconsin. By the way, Wisconsin destroyed a horrible team, New Mexico State, but they won 63-7 or something. But guys, if you want a player that I'm sure a lot of people don't know about, many people didn't watch the Ohio State-Toledo game, I understand, Cade Stover is literally mini Gronk. I'm not kidding you. Google Cade Stover highlights tomorrow against Toledo. He had 3 catches, I think. The dude looks like mini Gronk. It's crazy. I've never seen an Ohio State tight end look like that. The Buckeyes end up crushing Toledo and covering very easily the 31-point spread. The next game, NC State, very good win. I knew they would win this game against Texas Tech. Texas Tech was due for a loss. They should have lost last week when they converted a sham 4th and 20. They end up losing to NC State. I'm still not buying NC State, but this was certainly a good win, for NC State, 27-14. And then here we go, folks. The Florida-South Florida game, 31-28. I believe I had the over 59.5. And guys, we've got South Florida driving with a minute left. They're at the 20-yard line of Florida. We're looking at a 35. They're at the 15. We're looking at a 30-yard field goal. It's 3rd down. They're going to run one more play, call a timeout, and then kick the 30-yard field goal, send it into overtime. The over is a lock to hit. The over guarantees the hit at that point if you make the field goal. 3rd down. The center, the center doesn't snap the ball correctly. He rolls it on the ground. They take a 20-yard loss. I don't know why, because the running back jumped on the ball. Gary Bohannon, the transfer quarterback, he should have just gotten the ball, gotten it up, and just chucked it out of bounds. But the running back jumps on it. Just let the quarterback chuck it out. He can roll out and chuck it out. And then, it gets set back. It's 4th and 20. They're trying a 51-yarder. Obviously these college kickers, they're not making a 51-yarder more times than not. What a tragic ending to that game. And then we've just got an update now. Pittsburgh defeats Western Michigan. And wow, what a good job by Pittsburgh. They win by 21, and they easily cover that 10-point spread or 11-point spread, whatever it was. We were watching that game wondering, why is Pittsburgh traveling to Western Michigan? Why is Pittsburgh's administrators screwing the university? But they end up getting it done on the road in a hostile MAC environment in that one. So, guys, we've got a few. Here's another one that's basically over. Washington right now is up by 11. Washington has completely controlled this game. Michigan State is making it respectable. But, guys, this is another situation where the Pac-12 is very likely getting a major win against the Big Ten. Washington right now, Michael Penix Jr., Heisman statement for him. He's not going to win it, but this is a great game for him. It's great to see a university come alive. Should Washington hold on to win this game, it looks like they will. I expect them to move inside the top 25. Michigan State really, really let down of a performance. They're trying to make it close. This game's really not this close. Imagine they actually come back and win, and I look like an idiot. I'm just saying, there's 4 minutes left. Michigan State has the ball at their own 20. That's where the game is. They're down 11. I don't think they're going to come back. And then we have Clemson. Clemson is a broken football program, folks. They really are. Clemson is done. Clemson is up 34-20 over Louisiana Tech. They need a quarterback change. That's what I'll say about Clemson. They're going to hold on and probably win. You know, they're up by 14. They need a quarterback change. And then we've got Texas up 31-20 over UTSA. Good for Texas. They've got the injuries, but this is a big win for them against a decent UTSA team, although they are at home. Assuming they win, they have the ball, they're up 11. I know, guys, this is frustrating for you because these games are over when this is uploaded. There's nothing I can do. I'm trying to record it. It's literally 11-14 right now. And then we've got Utah and San Diego State, and Utah just scored a touchdown. Wow. So that's not great for the under. I've got the under 50 in this game, but it is just 7-0 with 9 minutes left in the second quarter. So the under looks really good there. How about USC is up 7-0 over Fresno State? Guys, I love the under 73.5 in that game. It's 7-0 with 5 minutes left. And how about this, guys? This was just announced on ESPN. This is breaking news. The Nevada-Iowa game that is in a weather delay is moving to Monday night, and it will go head-to-head against the Monday night doubleheader. And I'm expecting the Nevada-Iowa second half to get better ratings than the NFL doubleheader, and college football becomes the #1 sports entity in the United States when this happens, folks. That's what I'm expecting. Texas A&M just scored. They're up 17-3. That's disappointing. I didn't need to see that. I've got Miami +5 in that one. That's not great. But, guys, that's major news. But, seriously, the Nevada-Iowa game, the under looks amazing. Iowa's up 17-0, third quarter, weather delay. Can we get an update on that? Can we get an update? Let me take a look at that. Let me take a little look-see at that. It's still delayed. They may move the guys. Could you imagine they move this game to tomorrow? Will they actually do that? Nah, they'll try and play it because Iowa's an hour behind me. I bet you they'll be able to get it in. I'm pretty sure they'll be able to get this game in. But, guys, the major story today, Ohio State destroying Toledo. That is huge. We've got the big collusion case that we're going to be looking into with Dan Lanning, and it's just disgusting, the whole situation. Georgia's going to face a massive penalty for this. This is unbelievable, folks. This is crazy. How about Texas A&M? Their program's a mess. Their program's a dumpster fire. We've got Jimbo Fisher suspending five-star true freshmen because the kids are out partying late. What did you think was going to happen when you illegally give 16-year-old kids $5 million? This is the type of stuff that's going to happen, Jimbo. This is life. Grow up, big boy. You're 55 going on 16. You don't know how life works, Jimbo. You don't. You're going to give 16-year-old kids $7 million and the locker room's going to be fine? Yeah, real smart. Real smart strategy. NIL cheating. Guys, let me just recap what's going to happen. Texas A&M bowl ban for NIL cheating. Georgia bowl ban for collusion. Oregon bowl ban for collusion. That's the major news we have, guys, and we've got major stories that will be happening. Oklahoma, major win. Other than that, I mean, let's be real. Today was kind of full of blowouts, but BYU probably dropping outside of the top 25, I would say. Ole Miss, decent performance. Penn, kind of some good and some bad for the Big Ten. Penn State destroying Auburn. That's amazing for the Big Ten. And then the nightcap, you've got Michigan State laying a complete egg. Do we have an update on that game? Okay, it's 4th and 10 for Michigan State. Michigan State it's tough. I think Michigan State football just got set back a year by this loss. Because Michigan State's going to lose to Michigan. They're going to lose to Ohio State. They're probably going to lose to Penn State. That's 3 more losses for you because they face Penn State on the road. Yeah, good luck with that. So this is tough news for Michigan State. They needed this win week 3, and they did not get it. So, guys, that is it for this video. Make sure you're following me on Twitter.